So a couple of nights ago, I released my UFC Fight Night Machado Gary versus Prates card predictions. That's a good video. Please go watch it. This morning, this guy left this comment under it, and I was about to make a video today just blowing him up because he is a kickboxer and he has one amateur fight on his YouTube channel, and it's just him getting torched. But he said something really mean, and he said this was horrible to sit through. Wall art, Keon Kimura ab voice, and them braids look like beaver tails. FOH, F out of here, Jin Z ah. And I wanted to just lay into this guy and spark him. But you know what? The Shape TV 9203, I forgive you. And that's how I want to start this video today. It's hurting my interactions for that comment to be there, but you know what? I forgive you. And I'm not going to be aggressive in handling this. I'm not going to do the MMA guru thing where like, no, we forgive people here. So you are forgiven. All of the things that you've said to me, I resent it and it made me feel bad. But I'm not going to let it make me be bad to you because I don't like being mean to people. So we're going to get on with the video. Today we're going to talk about International Fight Week and how absolutely smoked it is. Dricus du Plessis, my boy, the GOAT, #1 in all of our hearts and #1 on the pound for pound rankings. Don't go check the website. He's injured and he can't fight Khamzat on International Fight Week. And this sucks because this fight was literally going to be like Kong versus Godzilla. Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus was going to be amazing. Khamzat would have came out super aggressive and just tried to sub Dricus immediately. Dricus wouldn't have been having any of it and they would have had a fight, man, and it would have been crazy like Gilbert Burns versus Chimaev. But hopefully Chimaev would have lost this fight and Dricus would have gotten the win in this one, whether it went to decision or if he was able to actually finish the fight, which I wouldn't put past du Plessis. On short notice, they want to replace Dricus du Plessis with Caio Borralho from the Fighting Nerds gym. He's just recently scored concurrent knockouts over Jared Cannonier and also Paul Craig. Pretty good clips for him. But there's also training footage that released of Khamzat Chimaev at about 50%. And I understand whenever you are training with someone who's preparing for a fight, your whole point is to let them work because they're getting ready for something, but you're also testing yourself too. So it's not like you're just a practice dummy there. They want you to actually try and give them resistance so that they have an obstacle to overcome. Caio Borralho looked like he was just getting toyed with in this training session, and Khamzat Chimaev was talking to the trainers and narrating what he was doing and sticking his tongue out the whole time. It looked like he was just playing and having fun. And that's pretty much what his fights look like too, so I wouldn't expect much more out of this, but basically the point that I'm trying to make is that this is not the fight that we want to see for International Fight Week. It's Dricus versus Khamzat for the belt or nothing. #1 contender fights, they don't need to happen. Interim belts, useless. We don't need those. Dricus has been injured and will not fight this year depending on the seriousness. That's how we know how serious the injury is if they're actually talking about an interim belt, because that means that Dricus has decommissioned himself and that he may actually need a considerable amount of time for his layoff. But what I want to do in this video today is discuss other fights that could headline International Fight Week that may be just as good as this fight. We need to discuss what is the UFC's plan for Topuria. Putting him on ice for all this time seems like a missed opportunity to have already had him fight for a #1 contender spot against literally any lightweight, just so we can see how he's doing at that weight class. We saw his power and how it translated there against Jai Herbert, so maybe they're comfortably knowing that Ilia can fight at 155 based off of what's already on film. But there's lots of good fights to be made with him in this division, and yet he still just lays in wait, doing nothing. Ilia talks so much crap that he's actually ready to back up. He talks so much of it that it seems like he's lying at times, even after we watched him do impossible things like sleep Volk and Max concurrently. For him to then say that he's going to knock out Islam is still something that people are like, yo, you're lying about this. And he's going to call it months in advance. We need to see him put in these positions to prove himself because he keeps on proving himself. So this is what you do. You make Topuria versus Oliveria or Islam Makachev. And today, as I'm making this video right now, earlier in the day, Ilia Topuria tweeted out that his training camp has started, so he has a fight booked. I've hung out with enough fighters to know that training camps don't just begin in dead periods, unless your name is Tony Ferguson and you're cutting weight twice before you fight for no reason. But Ilia Topuria has a fight booked, so we just have to wait for it to get announced. Hopefully it's one of these two opponents, or one more person, which we'll talk about later. So the next fight that I want to discuss is going to be Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman, and this is one of the best fights at 170 that doesn't involve a belt. Usman as ex-champion and Buckley coming off of dominant KO wins against other top-ranked welterweights from Kamaru Usman's era, like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and like Colby Covington, make this fight interesting to me. If Buckley can chin Usman, he is officially 09 Randy Orton, the legend killer. And he has completely wiped out that entire era. I may be sleeping on Usman at this point, but it feels like this fight would be like a ritual sacrifice for Usman to get bloodlet at the altar. And I'm kind of down for it, just because these full circle moments are something that I enjoy whenever it is a young contender that I like to watch fight and want to see move towards the belt. If Usman did get glassed by Buckley, that would make me feel absolutely zero, my brother. I may stand up and even clap my hands a little bit at it. But this is potentially the worst matchup that we're going to discuss as a main event. It's more of a co-main or features fight on a really stacked card. I'd love to still see this fight be made, but just, again, put on maybe the co-main or featured fight. So let's have a conversation right now. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, right? Usually saving these types of events where a guy would get hurt or pull out last minute, we would be like, all right, where's Alex Pereira? Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. Or where's Alexander Volkanovski? Beep, boop, 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 beep, beep. But dude, in these moments of hardship where we're just struggling to find out what we're going to do, where is our great heavyweight champion Jon Jones to come in and save the day? Why are we waiting on other fighters to do this instead of asking what Jon Jones is planning to do and defending the title that he's been holding on to for a while now? It's been about 6 months since he's competed, and for Tom Aspinall, it's been even longer because he can't get the Jones fight. So it's pretty much like at this point, both champions are invisible, and like this division doesn't even exist. So you make this fight, but it seems like there's no real perfect time for it to happen. So yeah, if not International Fight Week, whenever you guys feel like it, I guess, Jones versus Aspinall, let's make it happen, please. The next thing, we should let Paddy do stuff because he's fun. And Paddy is a draw somewhere on the level between McGregor and O'Malley. Somewhere between those two fighters, he's a star of a caliber in the middle of those guys. So let him fight Topuria because of the hand sanitizer bottle stuff. Or let him fight Oliveria to earn that #1 contender spot, so that he can be next in line to fight Islam. If he's this great prospect that you want to capitalize on, get him to a belt. His skill set is done. He's done. He's good. I feel like however far he's going to get at this point, he's had the time with the injury layoff and whenever he first came to the UFC, in between those first couple of fights to improve. He'll still improve because he's very young, but he's complete. I feel like he is a good fighter as he is right now, and he can make a run for that belt. So give him these fights so we can prove it to the rest of us. Let him fight these scary contenders he wants to fight so we can really see if he's about his business. Scheduling him is kind of risky because it's pretty close to 314. If he did have injuries, he might be quiet about them if they're minor. But if they are any injuries at all, then he probably can't turn around for UFC 317. Well, everyone would love him if he did this because he'd be taking up a Volkanovski position in this role. And he took really no damage versus Chandler, so this is a possibility for him. If this is what Ilia has been teasing online, I will be very happy about it. If he's like, oh yeah, I'm just started my training camp because I'm going to fight Paddy. I mean, he's so cool, dude. And the last thing that we're going to talk about, fuck it, basically, fuck it. Izzy told Goggins in a video that I saw online, Izzy's been with David Goggins for the last couple of days on the Stairmaster until he vomits. There's videos of all of this stuff. But he wants the rematch with Sean Strickland. And a win for either guy does fuck all for them at this point. But it does more for Izzy. Even though he's already lost to Imavov and other contenders that he'd likely need to beat in order to get that rematch with Dricus, they would beat him too. Especially if Khamzat becomes champion. Like, what are you even doing fighting still? Get out of this game. You'll never beat... Whenever Izzy first lost to Strickland, they were like, yeah, he's going to definitely need to fight Khamzat before he gets back to the belt. And this is not a light ask of anyone. This isn't just like, oh yeah, beat one more contender and then you're the champion. This is Khamzat Chimaev, bro. This is MMA's Mike Tyson. And Izzy was going to fight this guy at one point. It was this close to happening. And look at this. Them bitches are close, dude. Think tanking here for a second, though. Imagine if Strickland does lay Izzy out this time, and it's a sleepy KO where his toes are like doing this, and he's reaching for the invisible man. Sean Strickland basically becomes middleweight's Nate Diaz, and he's now a money fighter. He gets a lot of hype from that. and he can get some of the Poatan Izzy hype from scoring a knockout over Adesanya, I'd be so down to watch this fight, even though it doesn't matter. This fight is so unimportant and the stakes are so low that it could happen at a kid's birthday party or in the parking lot of Buffalo Wild Wings. And at this point, I would say that Izzy is better off challenging Sean Strickland to a sparring match at his gym at Extreme Couture and then working it out that way, where they can just have their smoker and then nothing happens afterwards, win or lose. Because there's just no path forward, really, for either of these fighters. And Izzy just needs to go. So, that's going to be my takes on what should happen for International Fight Week. Thank you guys all so much for the support. I'm going to keep on applying myself and trying hard. I hope that you guys are appreciating what I'm doing here and enjoying the content. I like making it. I think it's fun. So, I'm just going to keep going, man. I don't really care. Everyone makes bad videos. If that was a bad video, we'll just put it off in the vault and we'll just seal it away whenever we're up and covering our tracks, because we don't want people to see the early stages of what it took to get to where I'll be. So, stay tuned, you guys. I will be back with more content tomorrow. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys. Have a good one.